Hey, One Punch Man fans, this is Chris Bolts, and I'm coming in here. I'm going to be looking at a review that Chibi Reviews has done of the last episode of One Punch Man. Now, he already said that this is probably the best episode of the season so far, which I have found a lot of agreement with that. I've said the same about the episode myself. Tyrone Magnus has said the same thing. Mastar has said the same thing. I'm pretty sure Anime Anxiety has said the same thing. Those latter two, some of the biggest names in the One Punch Man anime community, if you want to call it that. This episode somehow is the best, yet it accomplishes so little, and it has some of the same stupid animation choices that JC Staff used in the other episodes. But despite all that, it was a fun episode to watch. What can I say? It was a fun episode to watch among a bunch of shit. Now, Chibi Reviews doesn't need my help. He has over 488,000 subscribers, but do make sure to go over there and give him a follow. He does have some pretty good takes on anime every now and then. On some other related issues, not so much, but hey, as I was saying earlier on a stream that I did, if you agree 100% of the time with a man, you're probably gay. You don't want that. But let's leave it at that. But before I do get into the content, do make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
Episode of One Punch Man Season 3 thus far, and I would actually say it is acceptable. It's average, nothing groundbreaking that blows my mind away, but this is passable for an episode.
And if we had episodes kind of similar to this and even better, I don't think the blowback of Season 3 would have been as bad. But regardless, the damage is done. And if you don't believe me,
Actually, I do agree with that take. If this episode was the type of quality that we got in the first 3 episodes, the blowback would not be as bad as it is. Episode 3 is when everything just blew off the hot pot, if you will. And it's a pretty good metaphor what's going about to happen here with this hot pot. Because all the bad animation choices that JC Staff could possibly have done were just amalgamated in that one episode. The Garo sliding down the hill has already become a meme. It's become a meme so bad. I asked my daughter, who doesn't watch One Punch Man, I said, hey, why don't you go watch One Punch Man? Because we were talking about the animation of Chainsaw Man. And she came right out and said, I don't want to watch that shit. Seeing that old man sliding down the hill like that. And I was like, yep, that's right. It's become a one big giant meme that everybody makes fun of. Now, I had one of the people that commented on my review said that the animation will be getting better going forward for him here. I hope that's the case. Because there is still a chance for JC Staff to redeem themselves with this. And I know a lot of people don't want to blame JC Staff. They want to really push a lot of the blame on the Bandai Namco. Yes, Bandai Namco deserves a lot of the blame, but the majority of it should rest on the shoulders of JC Staff, because ultimately they're the ones that are making a lot of these animation decisions, not Bandai Namco. JC Staff is making these decisions. So let's hope that's the case. The animation will be getting a lot better. Let's go ahead and continue and see what Chibi Reviews has to say.
Show a few examples here. First off, I'm going to show this. So this is One Punch Man on my anime list. And yes, I know you should take my telling. It is a gauge to see how people are feeling about something. And I want you to look at the score. This is what...
Yes, I was muted, man. Oh my goodness. I don't know why that actually keeps pushing that button and everything. I think my mic probably auto muted itself because I'm so close to it. I have to go back and say all that again. But there was a concern that was raised about Chibi Reviews making clickbait titles. Yes, Chibi Reviews likes to make clickbait titles, and I have not heard anything about a season 4 for One Punch Man being announced or being canceled. I think he wrote that to be a clickbait to get you to click on the video. And hey, it works for him. He's at 488,000 subscribers and rising. But the reason why I know that he does clickbait titles is because on a last video that he recommended, that was recommended to me rather by my regular J-Bro, which was about Japan going for the modern audience. I looked at that video and there was not one shred of evidence that Chibi Reviews produced that supported the assertion of his title that Japan was going after the modern audience. He was reviewing an article that talked about how anime had become a multi-billion-dollar industry, eclipsing traditional Japanese industries such as semiconductors and energy production, things of that nature. But as far as the Japanese industry going for the modern audience, he didn't produce any type of evidence for that. Now, as I was saying, there isn't. Now, that isn't to say that some of the anime or manga that are geared toward or might have elements that are geared towards the Western audience, the Western modern audience, if you will. And the example I give is over here with My Dress Up Darling. Now, My Dress Up Darling for the first season was absolutely excellent, but in the second season, they started introducing, or not really introducing, they started just going whole hog with the LGBT nonsense and being very blatant about it. It was implied in the first season, and I had no issues with that or anything like that. But in the second season, they just went full force with it, introducing all kinds of characters that were gay, that were trans, that were this, that were that. Now, before you guys try to get up there and try to call me all kinds of stupid names and everything like that, because I know some of you guys like to do that, let me just tell you right now, I don't have a problem with gay characters in any type of medium. And one of the examples that I will give is Sonda, which is on Amazon Prime Video. Sonda, which is a great anime. And in that, there is an implied lesbian relationship between the two main girls, the co-protagonist and the girl that they're searching for. Now, this is kind of weird because in Sonda, these girls are teens. They're supposed to be about 13, 14 years old. And to our realistic sensibilities, that sounds gross. We shouldn't be trying to encourage that kind of stuff. But if you think about it within the world that Sonda is in, it makes sense as to why they are trying to introduce sexual relationships at a younger age, because demography is not the friend of Sonda. It's kind of something similar to Red Rising, which is a book I just finished, which I'm going to be doing a review about. So be on the lookout for that. In that book, it is implied that because of certain conditions, kids are actually getting in relationships and getting married at a younger age. And when I read that, I was like, this is kind of gross that they're talking like this about kids. But if you turn off the your realism sensors and thinking about that as it is how it is in real life when we talk about stuff like that, because we definitely don't want to be supporting anything like that within the world of the book and within the world of Sonda, it works. And so in Sonda and actually even in Red Rising, they talk about homosexual relationships, but it's not forced and it is not a major part of the story as it has become with My Dress Up Darling with season 2. So this is just a long-winded way to basically say that, yes, Chibi Reviews loves to hit you with a clickbait title and get you to click on his video, and it works. So if it works, why stop the shit? But let's go ahead and let Chibi Reviews finish his review.
One Punch Man Season 1. I want you to look at the score. It is 8.48. And if you go down here and you click the second season and you load the page, you will see that Season 2 of One Punch Man is 7.54. A complete drop. Literally a whole tier drop. It went from an 8 to a 7. And then if you go to One Punch Man Season 3, it's, yeah. It's very clear that the
well, it's not even the drop in score that's fascinating. It's the drop in viewership. The people that contributed. Now, granted, it might rise over time because you see that for season 2 we had 1.1 million viewers, and then for season 1 we had 2.37 million viewers. So that's the thing that's probably the most surprising. And now we're sitting at only 20,000 users that came in and graded this season 3 of One Punch Man. That's what's more fascinating about this is just the drop in viewership. That's what the word of mouth has done to this series. And that is not going to get any better with what's going on with season 3. In fact, I anticipate it's going to be far worse because guess what? There's a lot more people on social media and there's a lot more people attuned to anime than there was in 2015 and in 2020. Let's keep going.
The overall opinion of season 3 is pretty negative. Like, this rating right here is disastrous. Like, it is disastrous, especially for a series. Like, if you go back to, like, season 1, that is held as one of the best anime to ever be created in the last few decades. It is nowhere near this rating. It went from, like, near the top of popularity to basically the bottom.
Yep, that's the other surprising thing. It went from number 160, ranked number 160 in popularity at number 4 to rank 10,230 in popularity at 700. This is what you can do when you damage your brand. And I'm sorry to go ahead and mention this because I know I got folks that like Xbox, but this is Xbox right about now. Once you damage your brand, it is hard to recover from that. And JC Staff, here's the thing though, this is kind of interesting. I don't think JC Staff has damaged themselves as much as they have damaged One Punch Man, the brand. And they definitely didn't damage Bandai Namco. Bandai Namco has lots of goodwill from one game and one game only, and that's Dark Souls. From Software has helped Bandai Namco tremendously. So, yeah, and their Tales series is pretty good. Oh, and let me also mention Tekken. Although I'm pretty sure there's some Tekken fighters that'll probably disagree a bit with what's going on with Tekken 8 right now. But yeah, Bandai Namco is not going to be damaged by this, and I don't think JC Staff is going to be damaged by this. But the One Punch Man brand itself is definitely damaged by this. Let's go ahead and go back up. Let me go ahead and let him finish.
That the overall opinion of season 3 is pretty negative. Like, this rating right here is disastrous. Like, it is disastrous, especially for a series. Like, if you go back to, like, season 1, that is held as one of the best anime to ever be created in the last few decades. It is nowhere near this rating. It went from, like, near the top of popularity to basically near the bottom. The damage that this anime has done to the brand is ridiculous. And I want to show an example here that this episode did. So at the beginning of the episode, if we disregard this just like retelling and recap and all that, which I'll comment on more in a second.
Which I don't know why they did that.
Here, where Garo basically starts to think about what happened to him and all that. He's getting ready. He's like, oh, I'm not bleeding anymore. And you see like his muscles right here power up. Like it's a...
By the way, this is the best scene in the entire in the entire anime, and I'm talking about all the episodes. This scene right here, where Garo flexes all his muscles out, and when he's looking menacing and angry right here, the best animation and the drawing in the entire anime.
Really good scene. Like I gotta say, out of any sequence from this episode, this is the best looking sequence. But for those that don't remember, this is from the teaser trailer that we got like over a year ago, which is this. And someone pieced together the footage showcasing the teaser trailer from the actual episode we got today. The top is the original teaser, the bottom...
You can already see the quality, the drop in quality. They should have just given us the original teaser.
Is what we got in, episode 4. And if you look closely at the overall animation and art, it's pretty much identical. The difference is they put a weird filter over the anime version. And I've been really sitting down, I've been analyzing this clip, really thinking about it, because there really isn't like that big of a difference with the design, like in terms of the art or anything. It's literally they just pasted the teaser into the scene for the episode. But I was thinking, like, why would they put the filter for this scene? Because if you look closely, okay, like, it's straight up just changes to a blue filter. And
Yeah.
if you saw this at first by itself, you might think it's okay. But when you have the direct comparison with the teaser trailer to this, you're starting to ask yourself, why change something that already looked really good? Nobody was complaining.
Oh, by the way, let me move my face. I just realized my face is covering his face.
Exactly bluish.
There we go. Sorry, Chibi Reviews. I always do that to you.
Well, I think what this really has come down to, it might actually have something to do with the blood. And if you don't know what I mean is there is regulations.
I absolutely agree. Because if you go towards the ending fight, where I don't know, and this is a spoiler, so if you don't want to hear this, click off in 3, 2, 1. Once again, it's a spoiler. At the end of the episode, when Garo breaks in to free Tario from King the Ripper, he basically cuts his head off, and then he takes the broken sword that he broke off his hand and he just slices and dices up King the Ripper. They don't show blood. But I don't agree with Chibi Reviews that it might be regulations, because if you go watch another anime that is on Amazon Prime, hell, go watch Sonda. Sonda has all kinds of blood, getting shot in the head and getting shot in the body. But the other anime I'm talking about on Amazon Prime is called Gakudo. And Gakudo, the main character, he's doing the same thing that Garo did to King the Ripper. He's slicing off people's head like it's nothing. And the people that he's fighting, because he's a ninja, the Gakudo are being fought by the ninja. It's a war between the Gakudo and the ninja that's going back to the Edo period. They're both just doing all kinds of weird shit to each other. So I don't know if it's regulations. Although maybe it's because they're trying to fit, and that might be a problem of where Bandai Namco was trying to take this, is that they're trying to make this more PG when they should be targeting this anime towards the same audience as Chainsaw Man. If you guys don't remember, there was an anime that had the one with the roaches. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. Goodness gracious, what was the one? What was that one that was? What it was? Let me just do a quick search. Let's see. Here we go. It's this anime right here. Terraformers. There you go. Terraformers. If you guys remember Terraformers, man, the first season of Terraformers was straight fire. That was great. It was awesome. And then all of a sudden we got season 2 and all the violence went away. Like, what the hell happened? No more roaches ripping heads off. I still remember that scene where that roach got down in a runner stance, and then he just ran real fast past the terraformers, and he just, all of a sudden, the next scene, you just see the head of that terraformer in his hand. He just holds it up, and that's when these terraformers realize, holy shit, these motherfucking roaches are trying to kill us. But in season 2, it just all went away. I think that's because these companies were trying to fit this in into a dynamic whereby they try to broaden the audience. The production committee said, nah, you know what? We really don't want to see this type of violence anymore. I think that's probably the same thing that's happening with One Punch Man. Bandai Namco, for whatever reason, Bandai Namco that has you running around and fighting all kinds of devilish, demonic looking things in Dark Souls and Elden Ring and all that shit, suddenly said, you know what? I don't think we want One Punch Man to be too violent. So Madhouse, we're going to take the contract from you and go search for someone that'll make it more kid friendly. Oh my goodness. That's all speculation on my part, but it fits. It fits. Let's go. Come on, Chibi Reviews. Let's see what you got to say.
In Japan, this is like TV broadcasting regulations. This isn't necessarily the studio's fault, animators, or anything like that, actually. It's nothing like that. It is the TV broadcasting stations that have, like, censorship laws for, like, a certain amount of blood. That's, like, why I believe Piccolo's blood in Dragon Ball went from, like, red to, like, purple. They have to censor some blood. They have to censor it in a way to where they don't show it, depending on what time it airs. And so, in this case, when you look at Garo, you can see that in the teaser, you can see visibly the blood here. You can see the blood and all that, it's red and everything. But then if you look at the bottom, the blood just looks like smudges or oil or whatever.
But again, that is a decision of JC staff. That's not a decision of the production committee or anything like that. That's a decision of JC staff. Hell, in fact, if what he's saying is correct, using this filter has made this even worse, because if you look at the original, this is also just supposed to just be shadow. This is just all supposed to be shadow right here. But in the filter, it looks like it's just all blood now, which makes no sense from the type of injuries that he sustained. So it doesn't make any sense that all of this now looks like blood. So it's just really weird.
It's a different color. And I feel like the blue filter in general, the way this is released, is most likely for censorship purposes for the TV broadcasting. That's my educated guess. But with that being said, though, I do want to talk about this scene, which a lot of people are also discussing heavily about One Punch Man Season 3, which was at the end of the episode. Which, to be fair, this is not a bad sequence. Like, out of, like, every scene from this episode, or hell, even these previous episodes, this hands down is one of the better looking scenes. Now, I don't think that this is incredible and the most groundbreaking animation art I've ever seen, but it looks pretty good. It does. I would say that this is about average to above average level of what you would typically expect from an anime production in the 2040s. That's just my personal opinion. Don't quote me on that. That's just how I feel about it. But it's not a bad looking scene. And then the episode ends here. But the point I want to bring up is that it's about, a good solid 30 seconds of really good looking footage, and then the episode comes to a close. And I'm starting to notice a pattern. If you don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to noticing a pattern, I noticed that every single episode of One Punch Man Season 4 so far typically ends with some pretty good-looking animation. Nothing too groundbreaking, but good enough to where people are like, yo, this is kind of cool. There's kind of some hope for this anime yet. And they'll sit down and wait for the next episode to come out, be disappointed, and then see the last few seconds, and then be excited for the next episode again. Mm-hmm. And I'm seeing this ongoing opinion for the last 4 weeks, where the episode is just absolute dog water, and then there's about 30 seconds to 40 seconds of good footage. That's the only thing that people talk about, and then they sit back and wait and say, like, look, see guys, it's fine, the anime's okay, let's watch the next episode. The next episode's the exact same thing, a bunch of still frames, not really that good, and then you have a few 30 seconds of good footage. You're like, yo, that's what, like, that 19 minutes of absolute dog water was worth it for that 1 minute of good footage. And this is, like I said, it's reoccurring. It's like people...
We're Pavlov's dog at that point, aren't we? We have been conditioned. Although I'm thinking about episode 3. I don't think there was any good animation in episode 3. I'm sorry, that fight that Garo had with King and the Insect God, it was nothing. And then it was all just washed out with that crappy missing frame fight between those two characters that I'm like, I don't know who those characters are. I'm pretty sure some of you hardcore One Punch Man fans know, but I don't. I don't think episode 3 was good at all. Nothing in there. The only thing that kept me coming back is the name One Punch Man. And I said that at the beginning of all my videos on One Punch Man Season 3. I said, I'm going to watch it till the end. I'm going to do it like T-Bait. I'll watch T-Bait the beginning after the end. I'll watch all episodes. And some of those episodes, they were okay. But it was a PowerPoint presentation. And this One Punch Man Season 3 puts that to shame. But yes, the ending sequence, this one right here, that's why I made it my thumbnail. I like this right here where Garo grabs that blade and then punches them in the face with his hand. I like that. But yeah, the best scene was when it was going all the way back when he was flexing his muscles and he had that angered look on him.
Like to shovel shit in their mouth. And they're fine with eating a messed up microwave mill. I don't understand that one. But this gets into the main topic. I think episode 4, if you want my honest opinion on it, it's not a bad episode. Yes, there is a lot of still frames here. Oh yeah, it's the same problem of episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. But I do think it's better than episode 1, 2, and 3, especially with the usage of still frames. The only bad usage I saw with some of
Yes, that is exactly correct. I agree with Chibi reviews on that too. It is the usage of the still frames that actually made this episode better. Still frames in and of themselves are not bad. It just depends upon how you use them. And in the first few episodes, they were used poorly. But in this particular episode, even though I had some complaints about long, drawn out sequences that didn't need to happen, and I could like to rip on this hot pot refilling itself, the way the still frames were used, it made everything seem like it was more lively and you can believe it. There's some anime that I watch that are just pretty much, that are almost just pretty much still frames. I can't, I'll go ahead and give another example. Let's go ahead and get out of here because, Terraformers, man, I tell you, season 1 of that, man. And then season 2, what? It's the same with Berserk. Berserk was the same way. Like, what the hell is this season 2 shit? But season 1, excellent. But let me go ahead and try to find this here. I have so much damn anime, but I want to find an example because I think I still have it in this one right here. Kaiji. Kaiji is an anime that it effectively uses still frames. And then it has a sister video. You got Akagi right here. Akagi is the sister one. It does the same thing, but it's another one that it has that uses still frames, and it's a sister show for this, but I don't think it's down here. No, it's not down here, and I don't want to search for it. But Akagi and Kaiji, they use still frames effectively. So so still frames in and of itself are not the problem. It's just how you use them. They do another anime JC Staff does, which is called Seiki K. That one, they also use a lot of still frames in that one, and that one is highly rated. I haven't watched it myself, but it's highly rated. I don't know what they're doing in this one, but they got it right with episode 4. Maybe they might have found their groove going forward.
Of the still frames was the eating segment, where they like repeat some loops of animation. There's constant issues like this throughout the episode, but there is continuous repeats of this loop of animation where they're just talking over it to kind of save time and stretch out the scene where they don't have to animate anymore. This is typical tactics you see in a lot of anime, but it's definitely overused, especially in season 3 of One Punch Man. But this was one of the only segments that really stood out to me that was kind of really bad. But I want to get into the recap. It's been a while since I read the manga of One Punch Man, like this segment of the manga. I want to not act like it hasn't. I don't know if there was a flashback sequence, like when Garo was waking up, and, he was like, oh, I'm alive, how am I alive? I don't remember if there was, briefly in the manga, because sometimes manga panels do that. But if there was, then ignore what I'm about to say. Completely ignore it. But if it wasn't there, this segment here with this entire recap feels like a time waster. Like, let's just take a look here. It's literally a recap, pretty much from 1 minute 50, right after the opening song, by the way, all the way up until, like, pretty much 2:30. Yeah, it's around like 2:30, the recap ends. So we're looking at about 40 seconds of footage, literally right at the beginning, that is a recap with nothing new. And yes, I know anime does recaps, it's a common trope, nothing wrong with that. But the point of the matter is that we're already seeing shortcuts being made constantly with the anime, with either loop animation, still frames, PNGs, different things like that. And if you're throwing in a recap on episode 4 that's just retelling the final things of the last episode, it feels like you're just using that because you're afraid of animating anything differently. That's my 2 cents on the matter. Let's ignore this if that...
and like I said, those are decisions of JC Staff. Those are not decisions of the production committee. Those are decisions of JC Staff to sit there and say, okay, we're going to put this time waster at the beginning, and it's a time waster. It doesn't make sense to have a recap for a 12 season. I think One Punch Man season 3 is only going to be 12 episodes. I said 12 season, 12 episodes. I think it's only going to be 12 episodes. Doesn't make sense for that, especially this early on in. It's just a time waster. Those are decisions of JC staff to use still frames, to use just straight slideshows, if you will, to not animate certain areas, to continuously use colored backgrounds like this and not go in there and give us a detailed background. Now, in this particular instance, I think a colored background makes sense, but in other instances, no, not at all. So, yep, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it at that. And then we only got a couple of minutes with that, and I'll let him go ahead and finish out.
The cat was in the mall. It's been a while. Anyways, back on to the main point. I think that looking at how the reception of season 4 has been, or not season 4, season 3 has been, and episode 4 has been, especially.
By the way, there's his only mention of season 4. Got him.
The damage to the brand of One Punch Man is so bad. I have seen so many massive creators just drop it. Like, I have actually seen huge content creators, bigger than me, way bigger than me. Like, I could only dream to be as big as them.
Yep.
Dropping the series and not even want to talk about it anymore. Like, it's just that miserable for them. And it's the very thing I talked about months ago. Like, back in summer. Hell, even before summer. I talked about the looming disaster that was going to be this season.
Yep.
And here we are. And this is sad because One Punch Man's going to be probably remembered now for going forward as like the new 7 deadly sins, like the 7 deadly frames. That's what this is going to be remembered as one.
That's another one. I just got another example of still frame usage. Blue Lock season 2. Now, I didn't complain about Blue Lock season 2 because I thought it was great. A lot of people didn't like Blue Lock season 2 because it used a lot of still frames. Seven Deadly Sins is another one. There was a really great animator I reacted to several months ago who took one scene between the fight of Escanor and Meliodas in his demonic form, and whoever did it for Netflix, it was absolute dog shit. But this animator, with his own time and money and effort, recreated it and made it far better. I did another one where they did it with another animator did it with T-Bait, took a scene from T-Bait and made it far better. Just one person doing it. So it's no excuse, especially in an era where we have computers that can really go in there and add the missing content that you think should be off in there to improve the animation experience. Why not do that? Why give us crap? And like I said before, this animation is not damaging Bandai Namco. I know a lot of people want to harp on Bandai Namco, and they have every right to do that. It really won't damage JC staff. I'm enjoying Reincarnated as a Daughter. They have knocked that one out of the park. And if you like Food Wars or a certain magical index or Seiki K or any other number of JCs, you ain't going to stop watching that stuff because of One Punch Man, but you will stop watching One Punch Man. In fact, I got to do a video on this on another one where Screen Rant did, and I mentioned this before. It's time to just hang it up with One Punch Man and to stop damaging the brand. At some point, you got to say, you know what? We exist beyond ourselves and we have to protect the brand. We have to protect our reputation. And they're not doing that with season 3. Season 3 has removed all doubt. We still will have One Punch Man season 1, though.
Frame Man. 2 Frame Man. 3 Frame Man. You get the point. It's bad. Pretty bad. It's sad.
Yep. I agree. I have one of my comments I'm doing this video. AI could make this absolutely better, but a lot of people will bitch about it. A lot of people will bitch about AI being used to replicate and replace an animator. But when you get shit like this, And people are like, you know what? I've seen better artwork. Go watch some of the stuff from Mastar. Like I said, Mastar is the biggest One Punch Man content creator. No one is going to come close. That guy has over 3 million subscribers. No one's coming close to him. He's done better work.
Bad. And I hate seeing a series I love just go down this path, because now it's at the point with how much damage has been caused to it, there's no recovery. I don't think they can really recover this. They don't. So I feel like anyone at the top is not even going to want to touch this project anymore.
Nope.
Like, I feel like season 4 and onward is never going to get touched just because of how bad this is.
Oh, there you go. He mentioned season 4 again. Got him. Oh, look at, there's the there's the thumbnail. Whoop. Nah, I like that look. And I'm just gonna put a little caption right there that says, "Got him." Yeah, we clicked on your stupid ass video because you said season 4 got canceled. Chibi.
That's my 2 cents on that. But overall, that's my thoughts on episode 4. Is that good? But I keep it real. I just, I like the series. That's why I keep watching it. But yeah, it's sad, man. Be sick.
All right.
Anime is actually $3 billion more pop.
There we go. We don't want to go into this. Is the video I was referring to. If you guys are going to want to go watch that, you can go do that. But that's my view on the matter. That Chibi reviews on the matter. What do you guys think about that? This video has already gone on long enough, so I want to cut it right there. Make sure you do like, share, subscribe, turn on the post notifications, jump into the comment section, leave a comment if you agree or disagree. And remember, this is Chris Bolts signing off, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take it easy.